A conductor in Texas is watching his daughter's volleyball game on FaceTime. He's sitting in a hotel room 300 miles from home, waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for the railroad to tell him when he can come back. His daughter scores a point. He claps alone in that hotel room. She can't hear him. When he gets home in 2 days, maybe 3, she'll already be on to the next thing. The next game, the next moment, he'll watch through a 6-inch screen propped up against a lamp on a nightstand. This is how you raise children when you work for an American railroad. And if you think that sounds dramatic, consider what a BNSF engineer told Vice magazine in 2022. The best thing to tell the American public is we have so little time off now that we have to parent our children via FaceTime. In order to discipline my children or console them when they're upset about something, I have to do it via FaceTime. To go to a sporting event, I have to go via FaceTime. That's a direct quote. A father disciplining his children through a phone screen because the railroad won't let him come home. Let's put some numbers on this. A typical American with a typical job gets 104 weekend days a year. That's every Saturday and Sunday. Add in federal holidays, vacation time, sick days. Most people don't even think about it because it's just how life works. You work 5 days, you get 2 off. You see your family. You're there for breakfast, for dinner, for the bedtime routine. It's not perfect, but it's something. A railroad worker with 15 years of seniority, 30 real days off per year, total. And that's not 30 days you can plan. That's not 30 days you can circle on a calendar and tell your kid, "Daddy will be at your birthday party, I promise." Those 30 days are scattered unpredictably throughout the year, and any one of them can vanish with a phone call at 2 in the morning, telling you to report for duty within 90 minutes. Here's how the math actually works. You are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. When that phone rings, you have 90 minutes to get to the terminal, wherever it is, whatever you are doing, whatever your kid was in the middle of telling you about their day at school. You work your shift, which can run up to 12 hours under federal law. Then you go to a hotel at what they call the away-from-home terminal, and you wait. You might be there 12 hours. You might be there 36. Nobody tells you. You just sit in that room trying to sleep, not knowing if the call will come at midnight or noon, waiting until they need you to take a train back home. And when you finally get home, you are rested after 10 hours off duty, which means the cycle starts again. The phone could ring at any moment. You cannot go to the movies. You cannot take your son to the park an hour away. You cannot coach Little League because you might get called in the middle of practice. You cannot join the PTA because you might miss the meeting. Your entire existence shrinks down to a radius determined by that 90-minute window. One engineer at BNSF calculated it for a reporter. He averages 110 hours away from home per week. He has no scheduled days off, none. At one point, he worked 11 straight weeks without a single day to himself. 11 weeks. That's nearly 3 months of waking up, going to work, sleeping in hotels, coming home only long enough to repack his bag. So what happens to the family? A railroad wife described it this way: "I feel like a single mom." And she is not wrong. She takes the kids everywhere alone. She handles the discipline, the homework, the doctor appointments, the emergencies. Her husband exists as a voice on the phone, a face on a screen, a ghost who passes through the house between shifts. She added, "I have a shirt that says I am a railroad wife. On the back it says, yes, he is working. No, I do not know when he will be home. Yes, we are still married. No, he is not imaginary. It used to be a joke shirt. Now it is just a sad shirt." There's a dark joke among railroad workers. They say BNSF stands for Better Not Start a Family. It gets a laugh in the crew room. But it's not really a joke. One brakeman at Union Pacific, a divorced father of two, told reporters that the attendance policies made it nearly impossible to take off when his children were sick or had appointments. Another conductor described missing his kids' birthdays, his 20th wedding anniversary, all because he'd used too many points attending his brother-in-law's funeral. Under BNSF's high-vis system, implemented in 2022, you start with 30 points for your entire career. Taking off a Friday or Saturday costs you 4 points. A holiday costs 7 points. A funeral gets you 3 days, but you still lose points. To earn back one single point, you have to work 14 consecutive days without any time off. Do that math and tell me how you attend your daughter's graduation. The older guys remember when it wasn't like this. A worker named Kurtz, who spent 40 years on the railroad before retiring in 2014, put it simply, "I was around for the birth of all 3 of my children. I was around for all the big events. I coached baseball. I was the president of the wrestling club. I was able to do all that stuff that these people can't do anymore." He wasn't bragging. He was mourning. Because the job he joined, the job that let him have a life, no longer exists. The railroads call it precision scheduled railroading. The workers call it something else. What changed? The same thing that always changes. Shareholders wanted more profit, Wall Street wanted better numbers, and the easiest line item to cut was headcount. Between 2015 and 2022, the Class 1 railroads eliminated 45,000 jobs while posting record profits. They took a workforce that was already stretched thin and stretched it until something snapped. The trains still ran. The freight still moved. The workers just stopped having lives. A former conductor named Andrew quit after 10 years at Norfolk Southern. He told Vice, "By the end of my 10 years, it didn't matter how much money they threw at me. That job changed me. I didn't feel as if I was even a person anymore. I'd lost my hobbies, my friends, and my fiance. More importantly, I'd lost any reason to live." Read that again. A man worked himself into such despair that money couldn't fix it, and he's not unique. Since BNSF implemented high-vis, more than 700 workers have walked away from careers, from pensions, from everything they'd built, because they couldn't take it anymore. The railroads will tell you their workers get 25 to 30 days of paid vacation depending on seniority. What they won't tell you is that getting those days approved is nearly impossible. They'll tell you about retirement benefits and health insurance. They won't mention that you have to survive long enough to collect them, that half of all new hires quit within their first year because they can't handle the schedule. They frame it as a trade-off. Sacrifice your time now, enjoy the rewards later. But what they're really asking is for you to sacrifice your children's childhood. You can't get that back. There's a final story worth telling. Another engineer, watching his grandson's graduation, managed to make it home literally less than 2 hours before the ceremony. He took a quick shower, rushed to the venue, and made it just in time. This was treated as a triumph. The fact that he almost missed it, that he had to race against the clock to witness one of the most important moments in his grandchild's life, that was just accepted as normal. That was just the railroad. And somewhere right now, a conductor is sitting in a hotel room in a town he doesn't know, watching a volleyball game on FaceTime, clapping for a point his daughter can't hear. He'll be home soon. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the day after. The railroad will let him know.